Honourable Rector, Dean, faculty and students.
Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to speak to you here this morning. It's an honour to be here in Indonesia's first and finest university. The Dean told me said that. I'm very impressed with this splendid green campus. It reminds me of home. I come from the Emerald Isle, the Green Isle. I like the yellow jackets as well. I congratulate you all on having brought together such a wonderful place to work and to learn. I am here today with our ambassador and colleagues from University College Cork, the county that I'm from, the best county in Ireland. I'm particularly glad to see that they are the Irish university from my hometown here in this university. And I went to University College Cork myself, and my son was president of the Students' Union at University College Cork for a period. So I have a lot of contact there. I'm not going to say a word to you this morning about Ireland and its experience of third level education, to share with you where we are, just as I am learning here today about Indonesia and about your beautiful country. Of course, Ireland is a very, very long way away, and there are very few traditional links between our two countries. There's no long history of exchanging scholars and students. This is my own first visit to Indonesia, and I know I'm the first Irish government minister to speak here at this university. So I thought I'd start by explaining a little bit about Ireland. Ireland is very, very different from here. We're an Atlantic country with a temperate climate, small country, 5 million people or so, very different to here. No volcanoes, no tropical rainforests, and a very typical European history and European culture. As I said, Ireland is a very small country with small cities. Our largest city, Dublin, has a population of just 1 million, and our other cities are much smaller. This small size brings certain advantages as well for education and living, and of course, we're very close to great cities like London and Paris and Amsterdam. And you know, the Premiership, where they play soccer and stuff, is only an hour away by plane from Ireland. I know some people are a little bit interested in that Premiership. Manchester City and Manchester United and Sheffield and on and on. Ireland was once part of the United Kingdom, as you know, but we became independent 96 years ago. In fact, 100 years ago last year we had a revolution in Ireland, and we had a lot of commemorations around that at the time. We were one of the first countries of the 20th century to achieve our independence, only a few years before Indonesia did. We are there of the same generation of independent states. Now, it's very important to note that Ireland is part of the European Union, and we will stay that way. The United Kingdom, as you know, has decided to leave, but we are not leaving. We are remaining part of the European Union with 450 million consumers. We are fully committed to our future in the European Union. We have very close links with our neighbours to the east, Britain, and to the west, United States and Canada. But we follow an independent foreign policy, and we never joined any military alliance like NATO, preferring instead to work through the United Nations. And it is in the United Nations that Ireland, like Indonesia, finds best expresses for its independent, values-based foreign policy our commitment to the rule of law, to human rights, to tolerance, to the sovereign equality of all nations, to development and prosperity for all. In these difficult economic international times, when tensions and uncertainties seem to be on the rise, I can think of no better collective approach than that spelled out in the United Nations Charter. We Irish have always been great supporters of the United Nations peacekeeping, and I know that Irish and Indonesian peacekeepers are serving side by side in the Lebanon right now. Ireland has the youngest population in the European Union, and is almost unique among developed countries in having a demographic dividend. 33% of our people are under 24 years of age. You would feel very at home. This affects our economy and also our society and our culture. Ireland's young people are themselves outward-looking, studying and working abroad, and interested in new cultures and in new ways of doing things. Of course, we know that from the results of the 2016 census, the most recent census available, there has been a significant change in the profile of non-Irish people living in Ireland over the last 20 years. The figures indicate that the non-Irish national community accounts for 13% of our population. More than 100,000 people from over 170 countries have become Irish citizens since citizenship ceremonies were introduced in 2011. We now have people from over 199 countries living in Ireland, and the changing ethnic, linguistic and faith-based composition of our population presents many opportunities and challenges to policymakers, institutions and local communities. Of course, integrating so many new members of our community is not without its challenges. My own particular role as a government minister is in managing this process and finding the right balance. I minister for integration, immigration and equality in the Department of Justice. Ireland's changing demographic society has evolved into becoming more socially and culturally diverse, and there is no doubt it will remain a diverse society into the future. Accordingly, it is important that we embrace this diversity and ensure that all our communities, our businesses and our schools are inclusive and welcoming. The degree to which we successfully integrate migrants into our society will determine whether or not our society benefits from migration and whether or not our migrants truly feel part of our society. In response to the civil war in Syria and the dislocation of so many Syrian Ireland has agreed to accept 4,000 Syrians into Ireland as refugees and asylum seekers. This movement is ongoing as we speak. People with refugee status broadly enjoy the same rights as Irish citizens, including access to our system of social protection, health and education. As recently as February this year, I launched the Migrant Integration Strategy, a blueprint for the future. The strategy was designed to assist Ireland in forging a path towards achieving the successful integration of migrants into Ireland. It builds on the positive outcomes that have already been achieved and sets out achievable and realistic goals for the future. The overall vision of the strategy is that migrants are facilitated to play a full role in Irish society, that integration is a core principle of Irish life, and that Irish society and institutions work together to promote integration. During the same period, an almost equal number of Irish-born people have left Ireland to live abroad, sometimes permanently, sometimes for a few years before returning home to settle down and start a family. They have returned to Ireland again with new skills, new ideas, new ways of doing things. So when we say that Ireland is an open economy, it is not just in trade and investment, it is in the movement of people also. Each year, close to 2% of our population immigrate, and close to 2% come back into the country as well. Like Indonesia, we in Ireland know that young people need not just education, but also opportunities for employment and business. In geographical terms, we are at the edge of Europe. We do not possess the abundant natural resources so characteristic of Indonesia. We have no oil, we have no coal, we have no gold, we have no aluminium. When we joined the European Union in 1973, we were by far the poorest country in Europe, the European Union, with an underdeveloped economy based on agriculture and protected industries that could not meet our young people's aspirations. To meet these aspirations, we needed to develop our economy. So we opened up our economy to the world. We attracted inward investment and joined the international value chains which are the defining feature of modern global commerce. We had help from the European Union in doing so. And we had many bumps along the way, with recessions, most recently 2009 to 2012. As a small open economy, we are very exposed to international turbulence, and we made a few mistakes ourselves as well. But we stuck to our open trading economy with an emphasis on competitiveness and inward investment and a highly skilled workforce. And the upshot of this economic approach is that we now have the highest economic growth in the Eurozone, 4.25% last year, and one of the highest GDPs per capita in Europe. We also have increased employment levels, recovering from the economic slump of 2012. Our unemployment rate is now 6.6% and falling. We are almost at full employment. We have a strong indigenous food and agriculture sector, which is exporting safe, very high quality and environmentally produced food around the world. We have a growing tourist industry, and our best year ever for foreign tourists was last year, and this year will even be better. So more and more people are visiting Ireland now. We have a very significant high-tech communications sector comprised of both multinational and Irish companies. So 9 of the 10 top global software companies have their European bases in Ireland. Indeed, foreign direct investment in Ireland rose 14.6% last year. And we expect that when Britain leaves the European Union, that a lot of companies will come to Ireland because they will want to be in Europe. So that's a big advantage for us. Of course, we have still a lot of problems to solve, problems with inequality, housing, with funding health and education and welfare needs for people, but our economy is vibrant and strong and is growing. With government policies and demographics and EU membership, these have all contributed greatly to the economic growth. There is consensus in Ireland that the single greatest contributor to our economic development has been a skilled and educated and flexible workforce, for which we have to thank the Irish education system. Because of our young population and our economic system, we require a vibrant and business-linked system of further education. We have 34 recognised higher education institutions offering some 5,000 courses. Some are 400 years old, some are less than 20. For the most part, our universities are not large, but some are world leaders in sciences, but also in arts. All have links with overseas partners, and all are closely connected to business. As a result, we are now home to the world's top ICT and financial service companies. Intel, Ernst & Young, IBM, Hewlett-Packard, Apple, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, they're all in Ireland. European headquarters, all in Ireland. Irish universities are in the top 1% of research institutions in the world in terms of research impact in 19 fields spanning natural sciences, social sciences and the humanities. This creates a unique opportunity for Irish and international students at undergraduate and postgraduate level to join research programs that are driving innovation and changing lives worldwide. Naturally, we are keen also to encourage Irish students to study here, and for Irish universities to undertake the kind of collaboration with Indonesian universities envisaged in the MOU that UCC have signed with your university here. Last October, the Irish government launched its new international education strategy, Ireland Educated, Globally Connected. The aim of this strategy is to support the development of a global citizens throughout Ireland's high-quality international education system by attracting talent from around the world to our education institutions, equipping Irish learners with the skills and experience they need to compete internationally, engaging in world-class research and international collaborations, and addressing global challenges. Ireland's worldwide reputation for high-quality education is built upon a commitment to excellence. Our people are renowned for attributes such as innovation, creativity and collaboration. We are an English-speaking member of the European Union, have intensive global links to our worldwide diaspora and alumni. Our education system has a long history of international engagement and is globally respected. As a small, open economy, we must continue to diversify our economy. International students, once they graduate, have a very strong role to play in helping Irish exporting companies to internationalise further and reach new markets through their links to their home countries. Not alone does internationalisation of education bring direct financial benefits, but it also creates links and relationships between Ireland and many partners at individual, institutional and country levels that will bring further engagement and economic activity in the future. Today's international students are tomorrow's leaders, entrepreneurs and investors. Ireland is a dynamic, competitive and globally connected country with a strong entrepreneurial and innovative culture, and where enterprise is valued for creating quality jobs and for driving sustainable growth. Our universities and colleges are part of that system, and we need them to be global in their approach, but in their student body too. We strongly welcome students from Indonesia. We strongly welcome closer links between Indonesian and Irish universities. So I've been talking about Ireland and about how we do things, what works for us. But let me be clear that I don't for a moment suggest that Ireland is an example for Indonesia to follow in economics or in education. Each country finds its own way in these things. We can all benefit from seeing how others, no matter how different or how far away, have approached the same challenges of fitting education systems and economic systems to meet people's needs. We in Ireland now know that we only benefit from closer engagement with Indonesia, especially in education. I'm glad to see some small but important steps have already been taken with University College in Cork, and I know that other universities and colleges are increasingly looking here to Indonesia. I hope that some of you in this room will visit Ireland someday, as students or graduates or even professors or tourists, and that our Irish people will have the same chance to visit Indonesia. I think our two countries will do better and the wiser for it. I've been really impressed since I've come here by the people I've met, by the friendliness of the people. It reminds me of home in Ireland, where people are very friendly as well and welcoming. We have a saying in our language, Céal Cníl Páiltha, 100,000 welcomes. And that's what you would receive if you come to Ireland. And this week is a special week for us. We celebrate our National Day, St. Patrick's Day, where everybody wears green. A green tie here. So you have to change the jackets to green. And we have 27 government ministers from Ireland are visiting over 50 countries this week, all over the world. Almost every city. I've been in Australia, I've come here, there are people in South America, North America, all over Europe and Asia. Because on that day, the whole world becomes Irish and becomes green. We're a small country, but we have a big impact, far, far bigger than our size and our numbers. And we have a long, long history going way, way back. Thank you very much for your attention. Tarina Kashish. Thank you.
My name is Ilya Adzani Pamutak from the engineering faculty. My question is, you said that you can, you're trying to make a collaboration with Indonesian universities and Irish universities. My question is, how so?
How so? Okay. I have an expert over here, Christopher, who's from University College Cork, and I might call on him to give you some detail on that. But what we're looking at is students from this university come to study in Cork, for instance, and students from Cork coming out here. And we have a number of programs designed around that. And so I think last year 33,000 students from abroad came to study in Ireland. We want to increase that number to 44,000 very soon. They find the experience very, very worthwhile and very, very enjoyable and beneficial. So that's one way of doing that. And this morning we had a meeting with your rector, and again we're planning to actually have more collaboration across different sectors. I know that this university, for instance, is a green university, and that students here are working very hard to promote that environmental advantage, if you like. University College Cork is also a green university and was number 2 in the world a number of years ago. Now other universities have joined in there, and we're now down to 11, but we're working hard to get back up. So the sustainability and the environmental benefits and challenges are very important. So that's another way we can collaborate in looking at alternative energy sources, especially with global warming being such a concern nowadays. So I could go on and on in the high-tech sector, the humanities. I had a good conversation earlier on with your professor of sociology. My own background is in sociology and mathematical physics as well, in both of those. And we want to start comparing notes in those areas. So at student level and at faculty level and so on, we want to collaborate and work with your university here and ours. Is that okay? Christopher, do you want to add anything to that?
Of course, the minister is representing a number of the different Irish universities. From our perspective at University College Cork, we're talking already about joint programs in a couple of disciplines, including computer science. We're participating in mobility schemes for undergraduates to come for 1 semester visiting abroad. We're open to any number of short visits if they're for research purposes. We certainly would be very happy to explore joint research among our academics and of course research teams of postgraduates. We've got some conferences coming up that will be open to any individuals, both academics, professionally, and students. And likewise, if there are major programs, particularly postgraduate degrees, that you're interested in, we'd love to see applications. So, a few ways.
And also there are people who can come from Ireland to Indonesia. I think there's a major conference on coming up here as well later on in the year. Okay. Yes. Okay. Thank you. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you as well.
So please give a big applause. Yes, thank you for your time.
No more questions.
Oh, okay. So the minister are able to accept the questions. If you have, okay, over there. Yes.
Hello. Thank you for this opportunity. My name is Asia Shandika from the Faculty of Psychology. I would like to ask, what is your personal opinion about Indonesia educational system?
The Indonesian education system, I don't know enough about it. As I read yesterday and I'm going away tomorrow. But and again, a lot of people in Ireland don't know an awful lot about Indonesia. And I assume that a lot of people in Indonesia don't know an awful lot about Ireland. So we have a lot of learning to do. I've been quite impressed with the country here, the people, the friendliness, and with the level of sophistication here that come across, the level of education, the amount of the depth and width of what you're learning here at this university, what's on offer here is quite impressive, very impressive. And so I think that by working together, collaborating, we can learn more from each other. Our education system at home is developing all the time and it's improving, and we're working very hard to actually ensure that more and more people go to school, go to second level, go to university, and possibly develop apprenticeships and other training as well, different pathways of doing that. But I don't know enough about the system here, but what I've seen so far, and what I've seen this morning, impresses me, and I want to learn more. Thank you.
Thank you. Minister, I think we have one last question. Yes. Over there, please, the microphone. Yes, from one of the lecturers.
Thank you. My name is Nofrizal. I'm a lecturer from this faculty. It's interesting for me to know the name of your position is the Minister for Justice and Equality. So what kind of equality do you face? What equality problems do you face in your country? It's because in Indonesia the name of that position is Minister of Law and Human Rights.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
Thank you.
It certainly actually, thank you very much for your question. It certainly includes human rights. We have recently established an Irish Human Rights and Equality Commission, which is independent of government, and they act as a watchdog on the workings of the state. And they are also accredited, they've been accreditation internationally, as you know. So that's one. Equality, gender equality is quite important for us. We want to ensure, because at home many women don't get paid as much as men. We also have the glass ceiling, where women are concerned, where they don't get promoted for various reasons. If they have a family, they take time off, and they come back, things have moved on and they don't get promoted, and they're near the sticky floor where they can't move up. And we've recently, we've recently seen situations where we're losing a lot of very, very good talent because of that. We also have equality with respect to different nationalities who come to Ireland. That's quite important for us, as I said in my speech, that people will actually feel welcome and have the same opportunities. We have an indigenous group in Ireland, we call them travellers, and for many decades they haven't experienced inequality or enjoyed equality. And only last week we made a major statement in our Parliament recognising their ethnicity formally. And my job now will be to ensure that they have access to education, health, employment, accommodation, and on those metrics. So we were recently launched an integration strategy where 12% of our population are foreign-born, and we want to ensure that people can integrate into our society and feel welcome and not be isolated or ghettoised, as happened in some European countries. And thankfully in Ireland, foreign-born nationals are very welcome in Ireland. And that's not the same in some other countries in Europe, unfortunately, but it is in Ireland. So it's a cross issue area. So it's immigration, integration, and equality. And as I said, we're actually welcoming people in from the Syrian conflict and people with different religious backgrounds and faiths. Everybody is welcome to follow their own faith and their own belief, and that's supported as well. So it's multifaceted. I'm also, by the way, beginning to look at a men's strategy, because we want to ensure that men are not neglected either. And that's something that I'm going to work on shortly when I get back. Okay, is that right?
Okay. Thank you so much, Minister Stanton. You may be returned to your seat. Yes, please give
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning. It is a great pleasure to have Your Excellency Mr. David Stanton, Minister of State for Justice and Equality of Ireland, and also Your Excellency Mr. Kyle O'Sullivan, Ambassador of Ireland to the Republic of Indonesia, and all delegates from Ireland. Thank you for visiting us and also for sharing very important information about the development of Ireland, especially the development of economics and also education and other relevant to our cooperation. I think we can use the experience of the country that you mentioned, how developing from very low until very highest in terms of economics and also culture, education, and other. I hope that our students here can improve their understanding and knowledge about Ireland, and hopefully they can look in other information about your country and also universities in Ireland. And nowadays, many of our alumni go to European universities to continue their study for master and also for PhD. And I hope that your visiting in this university can encourage our students, our alumni to go to Ireland in the future. Also, we very welcome your students for exchange here in UI, and also for professors, lecturers to visiting our university also. Thank you very much again. Thank you.